Will Cam be the Patriots starter for the entire season?
Cam won't be the starter for the entire season, but it's not because of Mac Jones. I love what Lewis said. The Patriots sat and waited for Mac Jones. They didn't trade up. They weren't eager. You saw the Chicago Bears trade up for Justin Fields. They were desperate where New England wasn't. I think that the only issue I have with Cam Newton is that he's been injured the last few years. He said it himself. His last healthy season was that 2016-2017 season. He hasn't really looked himself. So he will start, but I believe an extra game in the season, an injury may happen. You may see Mac Jones step in there, but it's not going to be Mac Jones' job for long. Cam will get it back.
I think he plays all 17 games because the offensive line is going to be a little bit better. And think of the free agent signings they made in the offseason. When it comes to Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry at tight end, you also got Bourne and Nelson Aguilar, wide receiver. He's going to have more weapons than he had last year. And all those defensive guys coming back, all that pressure is not going to be on him. But I think the biggest significance that I think he's going to play a full 17 games and lead the Patriots to the playoffs is that having that full training camp and a little bit of preseason football to have more reps. Remember, before he had that injury last year, or he was slowed down last year, he was in a great rhythm till COVID-19 happened, and then he had to miss a couple of games. A couple of teammates had to miss a couple of games due to contact tracing. Now that team, wherever that vaccination protocol is, I firmly believe the Patriots is going to make sure everybody's going to be on the same page. This is an organization that does not leave any I undotted, any T uncrossed. So I think because of that and having another year being in that system and having better personnel around him, I think it's more likely to me that he plays a full 17 games. He won't have to do everything like he did in Carolina, but I think because of having that year and having better personnel, I think that's going to be a benefit to Cam Newton playing a 17-game full season in a regular season.
Part of what makes Cam so great is his physical style of playing. He's 6'5", 230-something, 240. He's a big, fast, and physical football player. He's also a really, really good quarterback. So part of what makes him this dual threat is that you can use him and run the ball. You can use him not just to throw the ball, but to run it, right? They would run quarterback powers for him in Carolina. They would do the same thing, quarterback sweeps for him even last year in New England. And so if you got a guy who's big and strong and fast and physical, and he can't really do what he used to do when it comes to lowering that shoulder and getting those extra yards, that's what I think is going to keep Cam Newton from playing an entire 17 games. Now, I don't think he's going to be out for so long, but the question is, will he start the entire 17 games? He hasn't done that in 3 or 4 years since we talked about 2016, 2017 when he was healthy. You've seen 14 games here. You've seen 2 games there. You've seen a lower 15 games here. I don't think that Cam is going to start every game, but not because of Mac Jones or anyone else. I think it's because the way he plays the game. What makes him so great is his physical style of playing, and he can't be as physical as he used to be because of his injuries.
And I think that's why he's going to play 17 games, Sam, based on what you just said, that he won't have to be as physical as he used to be the Carolina Panthers, because even though they ran the quarterback power a lot last year, New England Patriots, they really instruct him to say, when you get the first down, just get down. Now, inside the 1-yard line, he's going to be that power guy. But if you're the New England Patriots, the best way for him to be that powerful guy is to make sure he doesn't have to do it as much as he used to when he was a younger man, the Carolina Panthers. And I think he's going to be well-versed in that with the Patriots and their coaching staff saying, Cam, we need you out there for 17 games, and the best way to have you out there, don't try to prove how tough you are. We already know that. They're going to change his style just a little bit and adapt and make sure he can tweak it and understand that getting 3rd and 5, get 6 yards and get down. 3rd and 4, get 8 yards and get out of bounds. That's going to be a benefit to him and a benefit to the Patriots with him staying upright for 17 games.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.